You're watching The Breakfast Club.
Morning, everybody. It's DJ Envy, Angela Yee, Charlamagne the God. We are The Breakfast Club. We got a special guest in the building. She's my credit doctor.
Yes.
Miss
She
Jeanne
helped you
Kelly.
out.
Hi, thanks for having me.
Good morning.
Yes.
Welcome back.
Oh, I'm so excited to be back.
People always ask me, who is the credit expert you had on the show? Because I can't get Envy to answer me.
Yeah,
So
they hit me all the time.
we're glad that you're back here. Now, I have a question for you that
Great.
I didn't get to ask last time. Do you think it's better when you're trying to start a business to use your own money, or is it better to take out a loan? Because people always say, don't use your own money, use other people's money.
Sometimes if you can use somebody else's money, that's great. But can you? You know, can you get that loan? If you can, I would get a loan for
You
a
would?
business. Absolutely. And there's a great website. It's called nav.com, and it helps small business owners.
Okay.
That's
So don't you,
awesome.
because we used our own money to start the juice bar and invested our own money in it, because in my head, it's hard for me to I hate the idea of owing money, period.
Yeah.
And that's just something that's like stuck in my head. But I guess a loan isn't, like if you have the money, is it better to get a loan?
If you have the money, and then you don't have to waste money on interest, then no. You know, so if you have the money, you know, so it just depends. You don't want to take too much money away from your investments. It really is a personal, you know, answer. Most people who are starting businesses, those small businesses, they don't have the money.
Right.
You know, so you guys were lucky.
I was looking at a lot of the stuff that a lot of investors do, and a lot of investors don't particularly use their own money. It seems like they move money around. They use money from this bank, and that's why banks a lot of times lend these people money because they have the credit. And
Yeah.
then they buy these investments or buy these whatever they need to buy, and then they sell, they flip, and then use it into something else, and then put this money that they make in this one into something else, and they never really use their own money. So they always stay wealthy, and they use other people's money to make other money. I notice a lot of rich people do that.
Yeah, so true.
Now, let's talk credit.
Credit.
Now, I call her my credit doctor because she fixes my credit all the time. I have so many things going on in my life that sometimes you miss something, and I miss something, and you can miss the smallest thing, and it could shoot your credit down 150 points.
That's so true. And no one believes it.
Right.
You know, no one believes it until it happens to them, and then they're in complete shock.
You're like, I owe $35, and now my credit is ruined, and I didn't even realize.
No, it's the
Exactly.
truth.
I know.
It's absolutely positively the
Yep.
truth. Now, how can you stop that? How can you prevent that? There's no, like, you know, hey, I missed it this one time, give me a little grace, or I forgot, or I went to a wrong address. Like,
Right.
this is crazy.
Hey, those are great excuses, though. So you can use them because it can happen. Don't forget, you chose to do business with that creditor. So always do call them. See what happened. Maybe, you know, there could be a little slip up. You got to figure it out. But also, you got to stay organized. I mean, that is the key to not having the issue.
Right.
So if you can use, you know, something to organize, whether it's, you know, some app or something, just to set up minimum payments. That's the way to go.
Do they
and
have
open your
apps?
mail. Open your mail for the collections. You know,
Yeah.
those stupid little copays that are like $20 from, you know, a doctor's office. Those are the ones that show up, and people cannot believe how it drops their score.
Now, let me
Right,
go-
because
let me
when
tell
I
you-
know I have bills, I don't open them.
Well, I don't open the mail either, but you know what happened? I had a problem with a car dealership, right? And they told me that my lease was up. They said my lease was up, you could get another car. So I purchased another car from the same dealership. They told me my lease was up, and I still owe one payment. But they told me I was done. So then, when I got a notice that said it wasn't done, I was like, nah, this has to be wrong. Wound up happening, they were wrong, and I owed one more payment. So it went on my credit that I didn't pay it.
Ah, okay.
But I bought another car from them. So what would be the problem? But anyway, it dropped my credit score how many points? 180 points?
A lot.
But I'm sure when
In
you
the
told them they were
moment.
able to take it off.
No!
they
Jeanne must have
weren't?
called. Jeanne called them, I swear to God, 27 times.
I'm surprised. They didn't do
27,
that.
that's my lucky number.
And not for nothing, they know Jeannie's name. They was like, look, we're tired of speaking to Jeannie. Look, we're trying to make this work. But she goes hard. And I wanted to talk to you about credit. Can you explain to the people the importance of good credit? And not even good credit, great credit.
Yeah. Well, I mean, again, when you need money, you can get it. And it's not just get approved or declined. At what rate? You know, I feel so bad because when we have bad credit, because I've been there, I know what it's like. You are getting, you know, the highest interest rates. You wonder why people can't get out from being down below. because we're getting, these horrible rates, if we can even get something. So you're getting charged and waste so much money when you have the bad credit. If you invest back into your credit, and I make it as easy as possible. I'm a New Yorker, bottom line kind of gal. So I want to make things easy for people. And once you have good credit and you can go to that car dealership, get that car at the low rate, you can get the credit cards, if you need them. These are tools. Credit cards are not to get in debt. I know, people think the opposite, but they're just tools to get you to the next level. So use the credit cards in a healthy way. And also, don't forget, your credit score, it's not just about the interest rates. It's also about, people can pull your credit for the apartment that you want. People can look at your credit for employment. So there's lots to it. Insurance rates. They're saying if you have a bad credit, then maybe you're stressed out all the time. So we're going to charge you higher insurance.
And you probably are stressed out all the time, really.
Right.
Yeah. Now, let me ask you this, because I do know people that are like proud of the fact that they don't have any credit cards. But it is important to establish credit. Doesn't mean you got to run your credit card up.
Of course. When you have good credit, don't we all like free money, the rewards that you get from it?
Listen, why right now I have $1,000 worth of rewards on my American Express card that I actually was just looking at today, trying to figure out what gift card do I want to get.
That's right. And so that's free money. So I'm saying use it in a healthy way.
Yeah.
So when people say to me, I'm not going to use, I have no credit cards. I don't want to say, are you a fool? But come on, use the credit cards. Just use them smart.
Now let me ask you one more thing. Is this a rumor or is this true? I got one of my employees a credit card, right? But it's under my name and everything. Yeah. Does that mean that her credit is now going to go up because she has the same established credit that I have?
She doesn't have everything, but that one card that you put her on as an authorized user, that one account will go on her credit report. Okay, so when that one account goes on that person's credit report, if it's a good account, which obviously it is, then it's going to boost that person's score. And the thing is, a lot of people don't realize the open date of that account is not that you just opened it for her.
It's from my date.
Open date. So sometimes, someone young could have 15-year history when they get added to the authorized user account. So my assistants in the office love it.
Yeah.
When I say, oh, you know what? I can't get this office equipment. I'm putting you on. Just take this card and run. And, again, I'm responsible for it, but they're going to benefit.
So that's actually a good way to help boost somebody else's credit up, is to give them...
To add them on your account.
Yes, a credit card.
Be smart about that, but yes.
How long does it take for that to kick in?
Sometimes it takes about 60 days, let's say.
Okay.
Because by the time the person gets it, and, a lot of times they get the card, they don't activate it. They got to activate.
Now, question with credit, how much should you have on your credit card? What's the balance or the amount that you should keep steady on your credit card?
Okay, so you said you want to know about great credit.
Right.
Okay, so great, the magic number for anyone who has 800 scores, they don't go above 7% of what's available to them.
7?
7, the lucky number, right? So again, I try to look at it as 10, because it's just easy math.
Right.
And I'll always look at it, and I always think each of my cards, that's my limit. So this way I try to get the most of my score all the time. Now, sometimes it's not realistic and I got to bump something up. I'm traveling. So it'll just depend. But 7% is where you want to keep it at.
So if you use your credit card, let's say you have $1,000 limit and you use it this weekend to go to Miami and you spend $600 on your credit card. As long as you pay it off in the 30 days, is it okay, or does it automatically go on your credit?
They're going to put the last statement balance. So this is where people get confused, because a lot of times people say, I always pay it to zero.
Right.
Okay. They never report the zero, because then you're using the card again. They always report the last statement balance. So if you go have fun before the next statement comes out, that's when you want to pay it. Go online, pay that bill. When the next statement comes out, have the balance low, because that's the amount that will be on the credit report.
Now, how do people fix their credit? Let's say they have some bad judgments or some messed up things on their credit. How can they go about?
Let's say your mom put you on the light bill,
right,
without your knowledge.
Or you have some, or maybe you paid it late and you really paid it late. How can you fix your credit?
Well, listen, if some things I say, if it gets verified and it's late and there's nothing you can do, let's work around that. But other things, like you're saying, if there's a judgment or a tax lien, you can always call, see if something can get vacated. Vacated would mean it would be deleted once you settle on what happened there. And by the way, there's some big news in the credit world because in July, tax liens and judgments are not going to report on your credit report.
Really?
So is that exciting for everyone? Because that's big news.
So if you have it on there, they take it off.
In July. Now, we'll have to do a follow-up because, again, I don't know the exact details. I don't know if you're going to have to contact the bureaus to get it off. We'll have to figure it out. But as of July, that's when they're going to allow them to come off your credit report. So you're going to see a lot of people have their scores over the summer get boosted up. That's the great news.
Right.
But also remember that if they're public record, if there's a title search and you're doing something with property, it'll still be there. So don't ignore it, but it is going to help your credit score.
Now you have a program that people who, if they want to fix their credit, and when we talk to people or bring people up there, usually it's people that we use or we tried. Now for everybody out there, I didn't know Jeanne. I had a problem with my credit, and I called a friend who called a friend who knew a friend who knew of a friend who got me in touch with Jeanne. And Jeanne didn't know who I was.
Right. She still doesn't.
No, she still doesn't. She didn't know who I was.
You're Rashawn.
I paid for the service, and she fixed my credit, and she did such an amazing
You
job.
didn't try to get it free? I'm shocked.
I didn't try to get it free. No,
Because Envy is the king of trying to get something for
Is
free.
he?
Yeah.
Not at all.
I figured Jeanne had no idea who I
He
was.
didn't say, I'll post you on Twitter.
No. But after she fixed it, I told her who I was, and I said, I would love for you to come on the show because there's a lot of people dealing with
Yes,
this.
there definitely is.
So now tell them about your program where you can actually help people, where you go on the website and all that.
Yeah, absolutely. So I have even a special because after being on this show, a lot of people wanted more of my help. So I have a new product out that is more hands-on, that I'm helping more. So it's just released today, actually, and I have it at creditbosslady.com. Okay, special price and everything. And I really help people with understanding credit, giving them tips, and also with this product, I'm going to give them a customized game plan. I'm going to look at their credit report, myself or my team. We're going to look at it. We're going to give them a detailed plan, exactly what they need to do. And I'm even going to provide typed, detailed letters that they can send off, sign their name. All they have to do is put a stamp on it.
Right.
Creditbosslady.com.
Right, and now you also have a service like I couldn't do.
Wait,
that
before
service.
we continue, Mother's Day is coming up. Mom, guess what you're going to get for Mother's Day?
Are you gonna help your mom's credit?
I'm going to fix my mom's credit as much as I possibly can.
Your mom's credit's messed up?
Listen, if you only knew.
Really? So she puts everything in your name?
No, my mom doesn't have anything in my name, but my mom was the queen of buying things on credit cards, hiding them in the car until my dad went to sleep and then bringing it in the house. She's just not good. We had all kinds of problems with, past due bills and everything. My dad complains about it all the time.
Goodness gracious.
And I'm always like, Mom, we got to get it together. So I think actually that's a great Mother's Day gift to give to somebody, is to help them with their credit, because that is something that will be a relief
Absolutely.
for
Oh, yeah,
someone.
it's so stressful.
Creditbosslady.com?
Yes.
That's a good Mother's Day gift.
Now she has different programs. I took the program where it was like, I don't want to write a letter.
Right. Envy's
I
not a
will
boss
pay-
lady
no,
at
no.
all.
How much is it gonna cost for you guys to write the letter and just handle it, just help?
Right.
That's the program I pay. Because Angelique actually, when she had some problems with her credit a couple.
I
years
did it
ago,
myself.
She wrote it herself. She wrote the
I
letters
did
herself.
everything myself.
Good for you. That's awesome.
But that's because I'm like I might be a bit of a control freak, so it's hard for me to give that up. But actually, my credit was never really that bad. It was like
Right.
I paid a Bloomingdale's bill 30 days late by accident because I forgot about it, and because I have such a history with them for
Right.
over a decade, and I've never paid a bill late.
Exactly. That's why I always say, call the creditor. Don't be afraid. But Rashawn, don't forget, I had you and Gia driving all
We
over.
call him Envy up here. See, I told you she don't know who you
That's
are.
all right, that's
She
all
don't
right.
know who you are. You're Rashawn.
Listen, you said that before.
ahead.
Listen, but I mean, I did have you guys driving all over, doing a few things. You did put your work in.
Absolutely.
Don't forget.
No, I
He
did.
just needs you to tell him what to do.
Yeah, that's
He's
it.
not
That's
going to
what I
don't-
initiate
yeah.
it.
She'd be like, but she'd be like, you have to get there by 5. If you don't get there by 5, it's not worth it. So
What
get
kind of treasure hunt were you on?
She was sending me all over the place. I was trying to buy an additional home at the time,
Right.
and I needed it, and I couldn't even get the home because the guy was being an ass. But I couldn't get the home.
Now, what about, okay, now let's say that you want to refinance your mortgage. You get all these letters in the mail. I get them all the time, right? Mortgage rates are lower. You can refinance. But then I feel like the closing fees that you have to pay again sometimes doesn't really equal. When is it a good idea to refinance?
That's really good for a financial investor to answer that question, but from what they have told me, you want to do that if you're going to stay there 5 years.
Okay.
If you're not going to stay there 5 years, it's not worth it.
Right.
That's the rule of thumb that
That's the rule of thumb.
And she's connected too. She's like the mob. If you need something somewhere, she'll get you. If you need steak right now, she'll get you a steak. If you need tickets to the game, she'll get you tickets to the game.
I need you to kill these people at the phone company that put
she knows people that knows people. So for people who need their credit fixed, the first thing to do is hit up your website, and then from the website, they can see, and you'll show them how to write letters and how what credit agency to talk to. Now, how can people get a copy of their credit report if they don't have it already?
They can get it for free at annualcreditreport.com. So it's free, very easy to do. You go on the site, you can get all 3 reports, Equifax, Experian, and TransUnion.
And that's how many times can you do that a year? Once?
Once, but you know what? If you get declined, you can get it again. So it's really not a problem.
I'm about to check mine for no reason.
Oh, yeah. You always want to check yours.
I got to see.
The big problem is identity theft. It's on the rise. It's really becoming a huge problem that I even have more information on creditbosslady.com about that.
All these scammers.
I can't tell you. We're living in an age that we're putting a lot of information out there.
Right.
And a lot of people will say to me, well, Jeannie, I have bad credit, so who cares? I'm talking about your identity. I'm talking about not just your credit report. I'm talking about your driver's license. I'm talking about your email. There's things that you can do to protect it. And the worst client that I had to help with an identity theft problem, she did have things on her credit report, but it was all attached to her driver's license number. And it was all medical bills. And it was very serious. She was working on it herself for over 3 years.
That's
and couldn't get
crazy.
it resolved. So there's things that I talk about on the site. Definitely go there. You want to protect your identity. And if you're coming to my site to fix your credit, while it's going up, make sure it's protected.
I actually have a thing. I pay a monthly fee so that anything that happens that goes on my credit report or anything, they alert you.
Okay,
so if
but-
you open up a card
alert
or
me now,
something
yeah,
happens,
They can alert you, but I want more than that. I don't want you to just be alerted, because what if then it wasn't you? Do you have time to fix all of that? So I will teach you a way not to just alert you, but then they'll fix it.
it's a good idea to get alerted though, you think? Because I have that. But
Yeah, absolutely.
anytime
You want to
anything
be in the
happens on my
know.
The thing
credit.
about that is like if you try to buy something sometimes, it won't go through and they got to call you.
No, it's like if somebody tries, not my accounts that exist already, but if somebody tries to open something or anything like that, it alerts you that an account is being opened. Did you do this? At least it's on there so you catch it right away.
Mine is so
Right,
bad.
'cause you might
I
never
can't buy anything without them calling me. Like
Really?
I can't.
That's embarrassing too.
It is so embarrassing.
Yeah.
They
That's
be like-
happened to me before.
It
Because
happened to me yesterday. I had to get something on my debit card.
it looks like you didn't have the money.
Oh, I was going to say, it better be not on your
It's
credit,
debit.
okay?
Jeannie won't let me use a credit card for nothing. I have to use a debit card for everything.
Right.
Everything.
Can you get married to somebody with bad credit? And does that
Well, it
ruin
do-
your credit?
No, it's 2 different socials. The only, obviously you're still your own person. But if you start merging accounts in the sense getting a joint credit card, getting a mortgage together, those accounts you will be together on. But all of a sudden you don't get married and pick up their, old habits.
Right.
No.
Okay, just making sure you don't want to marry somebody with bad credit.
Well, yeah. I mean, definitely if they do have bad credit, let's get them on a healthy path and make their credit as good as yours.
Hello, who's this?
Yo, how you doing, brother? It's George from Brooklyn, New York.
George, man, what's your question for Jeannie Kelly, bro?
Yeah, it's it's getting a consolidation company and consolidating your bills, like your credit card card bills, to try to get them paid like pennies on the dollar. Is that good? Does that ruin your credit?
Oh, that's a good question.
That's
so basically,
a
what he's-
great question.
You always see those 800 numbers on TV, like,
We'll
call us,
lend you the money.
consolidate your loans.
Yes.
Yeah, those, right.
Right, so it'll save you money, but no, it does mess up your credit. It drops your score a lot when you do those consolidation loans. So now if you went to your local credit union and asked for a loan, a regular loan to consolidate your credit card bills, that's fine because it's just labeled as a loan. But when you do these programs, it almost brings your credit score down to bankruptcy.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow,
and
who knew?
I didn't know that.
It really is not helpful.
Okay.
Wow.
So in other words, try to get a loan from your local bank
Yes.
and pay off. Okay.
Absolutely.
Wow.
Absolutely.
All right,
Yeah.
Another question I had was there are different credit scores for different things?
Yes.
A lot of people don't know that. So
Yeah.
explain that a little bit.
So 90% of lenders use FICO score. So no matter what, just remember you want to look at if 90% of lenders are looking at your FICO score, look at that one. Except, just to confuse people more, there's like 21 different FICO scores,
Right.
depending on what you need, because they think the calculation should be different, for a home loan versus an auto versus a credit card. But I
Right.
just say monitor your FICO score. The range goes basically from 300 to 850. Try to get into those 700s.
Okay.
And,
Over 720 is what you need for good interest rates, correct?
absolutely.
Okay.
That should be the goal.
We should have called my mom.
Should have called your mom. This is the help you need.
Ma, we got somebody here for you.
Well, we're still taking calls behind the scenes. If you have questions for Jeanne Kelly, 800-585-1051. Give them the website one more time.
Yep, it is creditbosslady.com.
Creditbosslady.com. Okay.
All right, somebody just asked a question on Twitter.
Okay.
And their question was 7 years. Is it okay if I have something, should I just wait 7 years for it to fall off my credit?
Well, a lot of people wait that 7 years because they can't afford something. It could be a collection. So if they can't, and they wait the 7 years, it will come off.
Wow.
So, and also, that I'm glad someone brought that up, because sometimes people also think because they had bad credit once, they always will. But that's so not true. You can rebuild, and you can even rebuild right after, a bankruptcy or the short sale or foreclosure. So definitely don't be afraid of credit.
So really, 7 years and you just never have to pay it.
Well, yeah.
I'm about to buy a house and not pay nothing for 7 years.
I don't
and
think
it-
it'll work for a
It's not
house.
for collateral,
I don't
things
know
like
about-
that.
And that won't work for student loans either, right?
No, definitely not the student loans. Student loans are important to be on top of after you graduate.
Right.
Okay, because that's when everyone comes to me that all of a sudden there's all these late payments because they forgot to tell the school where they live now.
Oh.
So be on top of, changing your email address because it's not the school one anymore. Your mailing address, maybe your parents
Now
moved
they
from
know
when
they
you
owe
first
those
went.
loans. They just trying to act like I moved so I don't got to pay my loans anymore. And if you can't afford to do it, you don't have a job, always defer your payments. Just don't ignore it. The worst thing I think, I had to defer my payments a few times.
Yeah, and
but
that's
it's fine.
Yeah, deferring them is fine. And also, I should mention consolidating those. That's different. If you after you graduate, if you want to take all the loans, because every semester it's a loan. If you want to take those and say, hey, let's put this into one, that's different. You should do that because if you do ever have a hiccup and one late payment, it'll be on one loan instead of 8
Okay.
or something like that.
And also, just know when you get married, whatever your partner's credit is and their problems automatically comes to you.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. You shouldn't marry somebody with bad credit. Everyone always says that. I don't know.
Well, you just have to look at that person and know that's how they handle their money. Is that,
Right.
we do know many divorces are over financial stress. So
Number
you
one reason.
I mean, during the dating, don't you ask what your score is?
No.
Oh my
That's
God,
a
I
touchy
guess I
subject.
did- I
When you
did it
find
all
out,
wrong.
when it's time to buy a house and you can't get one because you ain't know the
But how is
person
that
had bad
conversation?
credit.
How many people have you been with? What's your credit score? That seems a little odd.
Right.
Well, listen though, when you do talk serious, when you get serious with someone and you're saying, well, how much do you make a year? Let's say before you're moving in and you want to start sharing bills. Just make sure you ask that because someone could make a lot of money a year but still have really bad credit.
Right. Or you could just get his social security number and go to annualcreditscore.com, plug it in, and find out.
My goodness. All right. Well, Jeanne, we appreciate you for joining us
Thank you
as
for
well.
having me.
Thank you for coming
so
through.
exciting.
The Breakfast Club. Every weekday morning. Tune in.